everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Talking Skritt. I'm your host, John, better known as Dale. We're on Yex Ben, and we have a fantastic show for you. The new Fractal revealed, and we got a little bit of shown off in guild chat. ArenaNet welcomes a new face, and Pink Day in LA returns soon, and much more. But first, let me introduce you to my fellow hosts. He streams over on Twitch, where he answers the age-old question: if the challenge mode is actually a mode, it seems it is the best of both worlds. Does that mean the real secret to the Fractal is a long-awaited Hannah Montana crossover? Say hello to Age.
I didn't think you'd go that way.
Yeah, I'm not lost with that.
What, I'm the only one with the wants the Hannah Montana crossover? Oh.
I guess. I don't know. I've never watched Hannah Montana. Hi, guys.
That's all I know of Hannah Montana, actually. Well, then I know that I know her real identity. Oh, I know.
Did you used to watch that show or something?
Not myself, but because I had family that was...
Right.
No,
right.
Of course, it started with having family doing it. Then I was like, this show's awesome. Got all the DVDs. I'm assuming they're on DVDs, the seasons. I don't know. Anyway, before we turn this into the Hannah Montana podcast, you might have heard her voice, but you can find her over on Twitch or telling her, I switched away from a thing, telling her thoughts on Twitter or even her own website, kitthetraveler.com. Before she makes her long journey to Cantha, she's going to help us talk about the Canthan teas coming to us next week. Say hello to Kit.
Hello.
How are you
ready.
doing?
I'm excited for this awesome Fractal / news and things that are coming up in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looked tremendous, and we'll have some of the shots from Guild Chat. And see, chat figured it out like I did, that Miley Cyrus was Hannah Montana. I thought I was special. I thought I figured it out. But we're not here. Once again, we're not here to talk about Hannah Montana. Maybe after show. God help us now. But yeah, let us jump right into it. So this past week we have talked about the new Fractal Sunqua peaks, and they gave us a teaser trailer, which I will play here for you. This was the teaser trailer that they dropped on Tuesday, and it does have the subtitles in case you want. It's basically the dialogue that's happening. But yeah, it shows off a little bit more. So it's slightly better than the picture of the map that what was it, Cameron Rich drew for us the anniversary stream.
Maps are so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That's the interesting thing, and I know a lot of people are excited that they use the stag mount. That's for mount is it for? Is it the Jackal?
Was it Jackal? I think it was.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to say it was Jackal.
Okay, people are like, oh, I'm glad to actually see them happening in the world.
Dual wielding sword. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, and she seems like an elementalist type. At least she's dealing with the element, wielding the elements. So is this a teaser for maybe elite spec?
I don't know, because not to spoil too much, but what was that Char's name in the Ice Brew saga? The guardian that we had to do a thing to. Well, sadly we didn't do it, but Ryland did. And maybe someone did the stabby stab, and then we saw that they used guardian sword, and guardians don't have sword, but they were using that ability too.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, yet. Unless every profession
I'll
is
say
getting sword.
Confirmed, every profession's getting sword.
Everyone. No one gets a special weapon this time. Just everyone. Sword.
Hey, I mean, I know people were speculating about that as a potential option that they would be willing to have is everybody gets a land spear, or basically an aquatic weapon that was put on land. So maybe we're all getting sword. And then
Warrior already has.
I would say Warrior then gets never mind. I was gonna say gets a third sword, but then we're going down a very slippery slope of where. Never mind.
Mouth. like Zoro.
Okay. Yes, the
One
mouth.
piece.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The mouth. Yep.
Oh boy.
But yeah, looks really awesome. I mean, I'm curious of who this person is because they did confirm on the stream that that is the final boss. The lady that you're seeing.
Fractal?
Yeah, the boss of the Fractal. Because they did refer to it as when they panned over, and I'll show you the panning thing that they showed in Guild chat. But when they got to that spot, they did say that that was where the final battle took place. So,
Wait, so is this the ANet fractals? Just like they killed dungeons off, or what? Like it's
I mean,
you're kind of
yeah, it seems like it, and I think I guess it's an easier way because it can take place in like. It's an easier thing to do a story that doesn't have to be connected to the world in a way, or like loosely connected to the world.
Would they just continue on to a brand new Fractal story? Because that just would kill. I mean, I guess people would get bored after all, just like they did with Dungeons, if there's no new releases for that. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've had a new Fractal. Hopefully they keep pace with this, especially since they did say that there was more to it, like the story behind the Fractal. And apparently, as you get achievements for it, one of the achievements is finding all the little hidden things. So, and that's actually interesting. Chad is saying who thinks she's Shiro, or did you actually mean Shio? And I just don't know that character. You mean Shiro Tagachi, which that was one thing I was thinking was, if you think about it, this is the Mists, and the Mist is about basically any form of reality. Oh, who's she? Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that person in particular. Let me see if anything.
I was waiting for that.
Are we like coming to a woman who imagined all these other fractal worlds or something? That's like I don't.
Well, I was wondering if this was like an alternate universe where even Shiro was like a female, because it seems very similar to, or you know, this is.
I kind of say they're trying to tie it into Cantha, since it has kind of Cantha theme already. If you look around on it,
Yeah, and
the
they do go about that in the guild chat of saying like they wanted to show off a little bit of Canthan stuff, but this isn't going to be the palette for Cantha. Like it's going to be even more, but this is a nice taste. So actually, out of everything, seeing the scenery, and they're like, no, this isn't like how it's going to be. This is just a little bit of it. I'm like, oh, I cannot wait. Why is she so tall? I have a feeling that because that's some of the just Fractal bosses in general.
That's pretty normal because there's the
probably just the C animations.
One, whatever, and that one, the lady, like she's pretty tall. Even the little Asura for like he's like big.
And also, if some people haven't noticed in the beginning, when you're seeing the group jumping platforms, rest in peace, Char that fell.
Yeah, I saw that.
Actually, I think it's right here as we're talking, but you know.
That's me right there. The one that falls behind. Even the little jumping platform one. I'm that guy, and they're just like, wait till we get to the waypoint, next checkpoint, basically, and then I'll come back up.
Yeah, like chat saying, it's just kind of for mechanics. So
yeah.
Or like they're saying, they could just be tall, like some of them. Yeah, what the heck? Norn-sized humans, blasphemy. But on top of that, they, like I said during the guild chat, they did a fly through so you can see like a better, like they did disable all the enemies, so you're not going to get any spoilers with the guild chat. But they did fight like the first boss on like the like easiest mode or something, just the two of them. So you can go check that out in the guild chat. But
right. No, it's very pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's like, I see, this is kind of once again why I wanted the guild halls to be in the mist, like another section we unlocked in the mist, because it would just
Yeah, it would
unlock
be.
any possibility. Kind of like
I
how
don't
Guild Wars
see
1,
how it could be possible.
yeah, kind of like how Guild Wars 1's halls were, where, I mean, granted, it was like, oh, we're going to a different island, but they were just different themes and stuff. Whereas it's like the mist, it's like perfect. We had Dessa going in there to figure out more of the mist, and it's like, oh, I figured out this patch that we have somewhat stable. And but anyway, before we digress on that, maybe that'll be part of the expansion. Who knows? But yeah, I cannot.
I believe they don't have a challenge mode either for this time around either. So
What's
people
that?
are kind of challenge mode. They don't have it this time around.
Well, they have a challenge mode, and a lot of people were angry about it because they thought it was a mode. But then they clarified. I know Cameron did on Reddit and also on the guild chat. It's a moat. Supposedly it's a moat that acts like the mode. So if that didn't make it even more confusing.
Yeah,
but no, after you basically have, and here's the image of that, or the video portion of that, is they after you complete all the achievements, it unlocks the challenge mode, where you go up to the moat, and when you click it, it spawns the Harbinger of Woe, and then when you talk to him, you can open up a portal that they didn't go in the portal, but from what it sounds like, it does even say when you click on the to activate the portal or whatever, that all the spirits have like disappeared or something like that, which is interesting. And apparently it gets more rainy, the sky gets darker and like creepier, so maybe that has something to do with hidden meaning behind all that's going down.
True. Like Abaddon. I mean, what?
I mean, I
I mean, look at the purple weapons and the purple portal. You know,
this is very different. Don't get him started, please.
Like,
I have things to do today.
I mean, it's, it could be there. I mean, I'll just say this. Like I said before, the mist is supposed to be all possibilities, all alternate realities and stuff like that. Basically multiverse. There should technically be a multiverse where things succeeded. Where he saved everybody. Because good guy Abaddon.
Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't, though, So.
We find the truth about Abaddon, how he was a good guy, and then I can go, I was right.
In an alternate universe, you were probably right.
Well, we find out the truth that he was good all along, and all the other gods were batting down.
After the expansion, that's when Abaddon shows up, because he didn't leave. The only other gods left. Abaddon's still around somehow, like it'll be his own whole expansion, and Dale will be like,
oh my
in
God,
heaven at that point about everything.
I will be like, how can I spend more? Abaddon was corrupt. He had to go. But like I said, alternate universes.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe we pull out the good Abaddon that was, because I agree, the corruption did break him because he was good. That's always been my point. But yeah.
What color the fractal skins? Is it just purple, pink, and red, or purple and pink and something else? Or is it like in general that's what the color of the weapons?
Well, you can see some of the, because they did show that off, and there even in the corner there's a little image of
like the normal fractal skin, right? Just a different color, like the ones that
I would say I think it does have the same skin and just different coloring too.
That sort looks pretty freaking awesome.
QED or chat saying the general idea behind it is that for the normal mode, all 3 mini bosses are supposed to prepare you for the final encounter in terms of mechanics. Cameron felt that the CM doesn't need that preparation, hence skipping the mini boss. Yeah, he said in the guild chat as well that the idea behind it is if you're going to that, since you had to complete all the achievements, which is like basically finding every nook and cranny and all the like little tasks, you're not there for, anything else besides, the difficulty. And I think he actually did refer to it as hardcore end game, which that always makes me worried when a developer says that, because I still remember, SWOTOR when they were like, yeah, we're going to have a great end game that keeps people, enthralled for, oh, they're already done.
Ooh, looks even
so
pretty. Like how-
I would say take it with a grain of salt of hardcore endgame replayability, but I'm hopeful.
Oh my god, I like the little effect when you run too.
Uh,
To go for, I guess, another collection.
I think Fractal overall will just give people just the Fractal runners content to go through, and they're most likely the ones that want to master the CM anyway. So
Right.
give them a few weeks, I would say.
Someone said that they spotted on the guild chat though that there might be some legendaries too, because apparently Ruby, when she was hovering over, I think it was on Reddit, when she was hovering over her weapons, it showed a legendary, but had like coding, like a code name, like in like as if you were defending. So I don't know if there's gonna be a legendary anytime soon or what, or if they figured out what the deal is. But that was on the Reddit thing as of today.
Oh, yeah, I did not pick up on that, but could be interesting. Maybe that'll be a nice little surprise. Another one for Age to go after.
Oh, so those were dev test weapons? I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
And I agree with chat. We'll see how challenging it is. I think that's the problem, is I think a lot of people had the same mentality as other MMOs of like, oh, a new thing, like a new raid might take people like, a couple days to a week. But
a lot of people went through the thing, was it the strikes, like within an instant after like it started to come out more. It's just like it started to just be done within that day.
Strikes were designed for people who don't
build up for learning how to raid, is what Bobby said.
Well, but I mean, even when the raids came out for Guild Wars 2, people did have them pretty much done in the first couple hours. Like the progression type people hadn't done the first couple hours.
I would say like when raids first came out, it took people a while, and then as you go more into it, more mechanics seemed very similar, just different in different ways. So it was a lot easier to understand. I think like things like the twins in the last raid wing that they added with the Jin, I think that was like a different type of mechanic entirely. So that's what maybe slowed down some groups. But I think in general, it's they're vastly different in terms of strikes, which are just designed to be just like beginner set. Like I joined like a strike once with a raid group, and they just like they legit just stood there and out healed everything and then just killed it. And that's not normal for that group.
But I'm saying my point with
like Hantha comes in, because it just seems like since we're talking about this is the last Fractal in a sense, like raids basically just kind of got killed off for strikes, and now we have strikes, and then Fractal's about to hopefully not fully croak off. Hopefully this is really not like the full last, like maybe just last story of Fractal. Because
when did they say this was the last one?
This is the last story. Then what's next? What are you gonna do?
Oh, Fractals can be whatever they want. They can have whatever story they want.
I think they're and we don't know how this integrates in, because with all the chaos stuff, it could easily be something related to just standard magic corruption.
Oh, you're talking about slots, you mean?
Oh, okay, that's...
Oh, that's... I guess they'd have to figure that when it crosses, but I don't think it limits them from adding more. I do agree. Like I've always said this, it's like they stopped dungeons for Fractals, and Fractals took us half a sideline for raids, and then like both raids and Fractals got slow. The development that slowly declined, and then they made strikes.
It just feels like if there's not enough player, like I don't know, it just if it's not very welcoming to all player types, like easy, hard, extreme, elite, players, then it's not a mode that lasts as long because it just like needs to croak out.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it has to be that case. Because like in terms of raids, it's like raids are designed so that you have to actually learn. And I
Right,
feel
but
like
it's my thing.
people
It's
don't
like,
want to.
how are they getting these numbers of like to make the decision to cut whatever part from, like, stop doing whatever and or quit, developing, aka dungeons. Obviously they, said no one really wanted to go to those, even though, there's plenty of people who need to do things for Gen 1 weapons if they want to do it. But it's like you said, with the raids and Fractal, like when raids came out, Fractals did get put on the sideline for a little bit because everyone was like interested in raids because it was like a little more challenging and harder. And now strikes kind of came around, and now it seems like raid is sitting on the back burner.
Yep.
And yeah,
Uh,
this is weird.
oh, are you saying like there's not enough interest in certain modes that warrant
It'd
arena
be
time?
curious. Yeah, it's like I'm curious on like where they're getting their, like, are they viewing through stats? Are they just doing
I'm
through
sure they're
community
viewing through
shouting through the, like,
stats and
no?
basic
If so,
businesses.
like, be nice to see because yeah, because it's just like it sucks because then why can't we just go back, put that towards either back to dungeons or more fractal master, I don't know, something else. Then if that's the case, I don't know, it's hard to
Yeah.
explain. It just feels like they kind of like start a mode up, this is really cool, everyone gets into it, and then slowly dies down, and then they cut the tail off and move on to the next one.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So, in terms of that, I think dungeons. I think they just want to move fractal it to fractals mostly just because they would have to design a whole bunch of new paths every time they add a new dungeon. They would have a story one, and then they would have like 3 to 4 different branches, whatever,
Right.
based on the story, and that takes up more time. I feel like more than an
Yeah,
actual
definitely.
fractal,
Like,
which is
overall, like, we're not
one
developing,
mechanic.
it probably is 10 times more like work than it needs to be. It's just overall as like a end game, like 80 player.
Mhm.
It's like, dang, what else is there to do? It's like starting to feel like our things are starting to get more limited as it goes on, feels like.
Yeah, the game was designed to be very horizontal, so like you can enter dungeons starting at like level 20, I think,
I think
and then
I want to say 30 was the one where it gave you I mean, I think you could go in earlier, but I think 30 was when they sent you like a mail going, "Hey, we need you in Ascalon Catacombs."
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
But I think like they could do like little things to promote dungeons, like just like small like dungeon run events, like they do with World Boss Rush or
Yeah, I
whatever.
feel like if they did like a challenge like they did with robots and just do it for dungeons, it'd also pick it, maybe pick it up a little bit, enough to get people being like, oh, we haven't checked out this path if we're a new player or veterans, if they need to get anything done. But I don't know. It just, things kind of just seem like it just gets left to get dusty.
Yeah, and I think regarding fractals and raids, it's just like those are 5 and 10 man content respectively. The raids are harder to design just because they have to think of new mechanics that keep people interested, but also are challenging to learn and master at the same time, which can be tricky given that even in past raids, some mechanics are fairly the same or they are similar in respects. So I haven't done much fractals lately, but what was the
Right.
last one? The last one was the pirate one, I think.
Um,
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Isn't that the chat?
Oh yeah,
Probably knows.
I think that one was pretty straightforward. I think it was like I don't think can't remember anything crazy about it, but um, I think what they want to do is add those raid like mechanics into fractals nowadays, just because they have some experience behind it, so that they are more challenging. Rather than for the ice one, it's just like there's a chill effect, AOE effect, and then you have to use the camps to stay warm type of deal. they're adding it more towards the fights rather than the environment, or they can do both, I guess.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I guess it all comes down to like the player base and what people are playing. And yes, generally for an MMO, most people are going to play PvE content. A decent fraction of them will do PvP content, whether it be realm versus realm or like small skirmish PvP type of deal. And then you're going to have a fraction of the player base playing raid like content and game content. I think it's interesting. I don't know how WoW does it, but I think WoW is designed it to be more like a hot join these days. I'm not sure. No one quote me on this, but I think its raids are more accessible in terms of just like straight up hot joining. I think in Final Fantasy 14 you can do that too. So, but Guild Wars 2 doesn't really have that.
And I see chat
Yeah.
talking about the different explorable paths and stuff like that, where I just personally, for me, would not want to see them putting in dungeons in the fractals. You mean dividing them up to small? Because I think that's the other issue, is they would want it to be smaller chunks, kind of like when we had the season 1 where we had the Flame and Frost like stuff. They basically broke up, the two, because they had the what was it, the mecha char thing? I forget what they were called, but like they basically broke that stuff up. But so basically integrate, you mean pretty much a fast travel system. That's all that would really come of it.
It's just slow. The last Fractal was 20 months ago. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
one
it's
Fractal months long that
and
we only do once a week. Yeah.
and I think it goes
that's
back to what
what I was kinda
Kit's
saying.
asking, and it's like, I think it's just they're looking at metrics, and it is, unfortunately, as is a business, and if they're, it could come down to being one of those, it's producing the results that it's wanting to see. It's like, hey, we don't have people that are doing 5 and 10 man content. We shouldn't make for it. Well, yeah, you're not going to have people doing 5 and 10 man content because there's nothing there to do. Like, it's, it kind of fulfills it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of. So
I think another bad habit they have right now is like, it seems like rewards, like some of the rewards lately have been lackluster in game, but then the gym store has something like 10 times more shinier, and so it's like, I wish I could just earn that in game as an 80 than have to put it into gyms. But that's just like a whole, like, that's why I'm kind of like, the fractal skins look pretty cool. I like that they're purple. I like the little glowy effect, but it's also kind of like, meh. Am I really gonna rush to get all that because it looks exactly like the other stuff? Like, okay.
And
they added a
go ahead.
bunch didn't they add a bunch in Iceberg Saga? Aren't those fairly decent? I haven't gone for them.
They're not the greatest.
Okay.
What's sad is the new Black Lion chest skins. I forget what they're called, but they have like the scrolls on them. I got the hammer recently, but it's just like, that would have been better set to like be like, here, earn this through this map or something. Kind of, I don't know. It just sometimes feels like they're just like, here, you guys get the ugly stuff. That's really cool, right? And then Gym Store gets all this really pretty stuff, or like maybe the Black Lion chest too, like the with the flamey wings and stuff that everyone wanted. So it's just like, it just kind of sucks as an 80 on this game compared to other MMOs I play, where it feels like the rewards are kind of like crappy as an 80 player than what it is in a different MMO that I play. And again, yes, not everyone's style is all pretty and shiny. I get that too. That's not the problem. It's the fact that this feels like rewards are lackluster as an 80 to me than what it is in another game. Because it's like, here's a piece of crap. And then, go to the gym store if you don't want that piece of crap. It's
So it's the overall value of of what is perceived as like cosmetically better
and
is
see that
better in the gem store.
that's the problem is since like you're saying cosmetically better is just comes down to opinion, but I would like to see like almost a comparison of like the variety that you could potentially get in game versus
Right.
gem store, because then that would be something where it's like you're saying you feel that there isn't enough variety, whereas
Yeah, it's interesting because like 5 years ago we would say, "Oh, it's just cosmetic, it's okay," but like cosmetics nowadays are just like becoming part of the gameplay.
Like
It's
they're not. I'm not trying to say they're abusing it, but for like all MMOs I played, this game abuses it the most. Because I play Final Fantasy and I play WoW,
well,
and Final Fantasy
but
has
both of
a
those have
ton
a
of cosmetic.
subscription.
Right, but that's the thing is, it's like, why is it that you're just not like listening to your fan base to understand like, hey, this is what we would, pay for, and this is what we wouldn't pay for. Instead, it's just like, here, just keep on gambling here, or here, just buy this instantly right here for $20.
Well,
And
but that's the thing is, and we've seen this lots of times in past of games of like, I'm going to boycott this game. And literally I've seen people then take a picture of that person's Steam thing where they're playing it day one. And it's like, this is why developers don't take you seriously. It's like, you're saying you're not going to buy it, but then you're like, but I don't want to miss out. So,
yeah.
they
and
FOMO.
then, so they look they look at the stats and go, well, clearly you're going to buy it, whether, like we might as well, they're ultimately they're a the person that makes that decision, they're looking at it probably as a business, because I'm not going to say it's the
Oh,
dev,
yeah.
it's not the dev making the piece, the like I'm sure they would
Definitely
love
higher
to
up
give it to everybody so
market.
they could see their work on every character, but that's unfortunately not how it happens. But
I guess also the problem at the end of here is like you can definitely tell this game is at the end goal for 80s is just like cosmetic. That's your goal. Like what more shiny, non-shiny, cool looking things I can slap on myself, unlike other MMOs, even free MMOs, it's not about just look. It's like, hey, go earn this or go earn amount or go do like it's like different stuff compared to here. Here it's just like here's some more like right now for fractals. Here's a reskin color purple version of fractal skins. Woo!
Mhm.
Like
But
yeah,
I
but
think in
to be fair,
other
I really like the look of that those fractal
I
skins.
know
Like,
it kind of reminds me of Avatar. I'm not like gonna lie. I agree with you, but I'm just saying in general they look basically like boring overall as a player that me and you have played already long enough that I'm like I'm not gonna be racing for that. But if a new player, sure, maybe they'll probably like go race and
or if it
get all the
really goes
weapons.
with your look, I mean. And
Exactly. But
that's
do you
always been
see?
my problem, even with Gem Store. I mean, we've talked about that in the past where we did Gem Store, where I'm like, this looks cool, but it's that fashion wars where it's like it would look horrible on on all my characters. So I just probably won't get it. So it comes down to
I think a
aesthetic.
while, 2, 3 weeks ago, I think I saw on Reddit. It might have been less, but when they announced like the trailer for Cantha and all that stuff, and for Steam, there was people even saying like they shouldn't show gym store stuff on the trailer because it just like
oh
yeah. Did you see
Well,
that? Like it just
but the
feels like
trailer is meant to advertise.
yes, but it's just like
It is an
it's not
advertisement.
it's not necessarily misleading, I guess,
oh,
because
it's
it's
just it
like
just definitely just feels like this game is dress up Barbie with a little bit of action. Like I I love this
I mean,
game,
I
but
won't lie, but I mean, I
weird.
do play Warframe, which is basically space Barbie where you dress up. So I guess I have a type. Um,
The best
um,
skins are the ones. I mean, they're slowly bringing over Guild Wars 1 skins overall, so that's
hmm
pretty cool. It's just,
and it kind of goes
you
back to
know,
what they were saying before was like for them, and that's where it comes to the aesthetic where gem stores feels like a bunch of glowy, like just unbelievable, unrealistic weapons, whereas like some of the more realistic weapons are off of like creatures and stuff, which is like, and that's the thing, if that is your type, then yeah, you're probably gonna be well off in Guild Wars 2 and not spending as much, because if that's your aesthetic, it's. But if you're coming from maybe possibly the WoW scene where you have a shoulder plate that looks like it could armor like a tank, like the front of a tank, Like, you know, it's like, then yeah, you might be more wanting the gem store stuff.
But we can move on to whatever next topic. It just feels like right now, currently, as long as the game has been out and us playing wise, it definitely feels 80s get kind of a short end of the deal / stick. And it's like, what makes you keep coming back? What's going to keep bringing us back? Just these little small parts, and then how long does that make you want to keep coming back? So it's, I don't know, because like other MMOs, even free ones or whatever you want to say, because it could be free and non-free, they just seem to know better to entice the 80 player, like, well, whatever level it could be, but top players, end game players, whatever.
I would like to do a separate thing and maybe go through different games, because I don't think that would be the case if you looked at, like, because I'm thinking Path of Exile, the only thing they have going for them is making you do literally all the content prior for the 5 minutes of extra stuff that they added. Like, and I would say that's a worse way to do it. Because if they were like, hey, we came out with this Fractal, everybody, you have to remake your characters and start from scratch. Like, that's basically what they do for Path of Exile, and it just irritates the crap out of me. I'm like, I'm not replaying my character.
I mean, I guess Diablo kind of does that too, though, right?
Well, they do the season thing, but I think in the past when they did the season, like when they actually came out with content, like a new, like, what was it, the Kunai's Cube or whatever, you could theoretically do that in the regular game. Path of Exile, if you want to, wait a season? Like, basically until it's old news, then you can use your old characters. But if you want to play the newest thing that they're hyping up, basically start from scratch.
See, I never played Path of Exile. I played Diablo, but not that.
But I do want to say, because I saw chat talking about, you know, they haven't completed the dungeons or, you know, fractals and even raids, and you know, they're just not a fan of, you know, other players. And I definitely agree with also what chat was saying as well, is definitely the best bet is, yeah, if you're going with the LFG tool, you might run into jerks. Like, it's, you know,
remember back in the day, we had to go to that website and like type in, like, to look for a group for fractals or dungeons. You had to like go type in. I forgot the site, but you just had. That's how we had to find people before the LFG was made. Do you remember that? If anyone remembers that, I remember that. Like, we had to like sit there and you had to put your name in, and you had to, like, those were the days when we had to find people.
At least the LFG tool was a slight improvement, because you could do it in game.
I think that kind of highlights one of the main problems with Guild Wars 2. It's just Guild Wars 2 is just like a game where you play alongside people, not with people.
And I think that's kind of what we were talking about previous weeks, of like, especially for like maybe Canthan features, is really hit home the guild thing. Hopefully gets rolled into the alliance system. Who knows what's going on with that. But like, really strengthen the guild thing, because like I've said before, guilds just feel like a glorified friends list. Like, they really need to strengthen that.
Because like the point of MMOs is to play with people, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, makes sense.
And I just feel bad, because I was gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, because like chat said, you know, you gotta play with friends, guildies, whatnot, like people that you're like-minded with, and that's a lot of effort to put into, like, for a lot of people to put basically research into a guild that, you know, nowadays, how do you figure out who, like, that should be a feature in Guild Wars 2, like some kind of bulletin board where you can go in, see like a little blog about, you know, or, you know, a little description of the people, so you can search for guilds. Like, there's not a great system. Like, is the sub forum for that even up? Like, is that still going? Like, I don't even know who use, like, but once again, that's taking people out of the game, like something that makes people stay in the game. And like I said, ideally established with some other stuff for guilds to do, so they can, you know, build a relationship before they go into 5-mans and raids and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like that would be something that would maybe help all of this, even though we're, you know, hopefully gonna, you know, I really want them to pick up the pace with fractals, Am I hopeful? Yes. Do I think it's gonna happen? Yeah. Stats aren't the numbers aren't on our side, like chat was saying. I don't know if it's exactly 20 months, but it's been a while.
Yeah. So I honestly think it's if you improve guilds, like just like with like, because I think like literally you can have a guild for raids, you can have a guild for fractals, you can have a guild for PP, you have a guild for Rose World, but you really don't have a guild for like PvE unless you like advertise and get people in and you're doing stuff. And that's all well and good, like you could do your own activities and things like that, but there's nothing inherently in there for PvE, like open PvE. Like guild missions was the thing to do. There's probably guilds that still do it to this day, but they got real stale when you don't add them for like what, 5 years. So it's kind of a problem in that respect. The guild halls, there was a lot of features that people were looking forward to that just didn't meet expectations, like the arena and things like that.
And chat's bringing up points of, you can't have a guild for fractals, for raids, for Tequaddle, for Dracar. And honestly, this is proving that guilds are a glorified play or friends list. Like literally for each of these tasks. Why can't you find a like-minded people? But I would hope the alliance system might be something similar to an in-game community thing, maybe on the PvE side front of things, whereas alliance for World v. World would be different. And also, like chat saying, people, there's chat saying, people are just too lazy to look up stuff on Reddit, Discord, and Google. Lots of
everyone wants their handheld at this point of like age.
I wouldn't even call it handheld holding. A lot of people don't want to log in and play a game. If
a majority of people,
if you're making me log out of the game to go somewhere else, chances are I might not return. You, as a business, you don't want that.
Yeah, I guarantee you a majority of the player base do not like go outside the official channels of like Guild Wars 2.
I would be surprised.
A few people and that's it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of the player base doesn't even read like the patch notes. Well, like patch notes and stuff, which like I know chat is in here saying like, oh, I'm going to go to this external website. I'm going to join this. Honestly, the people probably watching this or watching podcasts, watching like doing that kind of stuff, going to Reddit, are not the typical player.
Community is an interesting thing.
Yeah. And like I said, maybe they could roll that into like being the PvE side of alliances. Whereas have the whole alliance system for World v. World, but just say it's...
Well, I hope World v. World's not completely dead behind that all that crap comes out, because I don't know if you noticed that World v. World's slowly croaking for sure.
I tried today.
And I play that mode a lot.
Yeah. I was gonna try again tonight, I guess. But yeah.
But maybe if all that stuff could be in place, or a good opportunity to maybe meet like-minded people, they did announce at the end of Guild Chat a community-wide bonus event for Fractals. They said it was going to occur September 29th, and think of it similar to the World Boss Rush events that we've had in the past.
Definitely.
Where you progress as a community towards, rewards, and once you unlock them, you get, all of them once it all completes. So
I would suggest people to try it out, even if they haven't. You're gonna obviously run in some, buttholes, but you definitely should check it out. And at least it's a good way to get any fractals that you need done, any achievements that you need done during this time. If everyone and their mom's running this, so.
Yeah, I would say like start at the lowest level if you're like new to fractals, or just like.
Yep, and read up on AR. That's a big thing, so you can know what to bring for AR, because each tier is a different, agony resistance.
Yeah, you should be fine for the first one, I think.
Well, yeah, I think first 10 or did they
A
up
lot
it?
of the
Was it
AR is
10 or
cheap on
20?
Auction House now. If you really need some, like even if you just need like AR5 or whatever, it's like a gold or two, maybe more. I don't know. It's been a while since I bought mine, but I know it's not that expensive anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, like Chad's saying with the communities thing, like I said, that's why I'm kind of shocked that this stuff isn't established in Guild Wars 2, especially 8 years in, because we've always praised them for having the wiki. It's a command that they can do in game that, granted, will bring up another window, but it is something that is kind of keeping people in game. Like, how many people would actually do that if they had to like minimize or something like that? Like,
They could do it. They can do it. They have the jump stories basically
oh yeah, I
built
know they
in
could have put it in game,
browsers, so
but at least it's a command that you can access so someone can start looking
You know
up
what would
this
be
stuff
cool if
in
they
game.
reworked the menu for like basically the Black Lion / gem store / whatever tab, and then like add another tab where it opens the browser right there in game. But then I feel like that might access more hacking wise, I guess maybe. I don't know like if that would cause any problems like technical wise, but then they don't have to worry about like their game tabbing out into a new thing. It'd still keep them in the game and then just pull up the browser through there, like make another tab on that tab of list of things from the trading post / gym store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it like just inside it would just be more like a stripped down version of the wiki.
Yeah, because I
Like,
don't know if like it would cause any access to anything. You know what I mean? Like, because
yeah.
sometimes the firewall type thing to cause
I
any
don't
hackers or problems.
I don't think it would be a big problem, but yeah,
But that's one way to keep people sort of in, and then and then they can be like, here, if you want like more detail, click this link, and then that's their choice to get out of the game to go into outside the thing.
yeah.
I mean, any other thoughts on basically I mean, we kind of were all over the place on like hopes and dreams, but I think it all still revolved around the Fractal and
Yeah.
Sunqua peak, but
I'm overall excited. I like everything that's gonna happen for it. I guess I don't know. I'm excited but not excited as an 80. I don't know. It's like a middle ground because it's like cool new content. Will probably, like some people said, quickly get done within a week because and then
I think that's a problem for
back to the
veteran players
same old.
in most games. I
Yeah.
mean, it's.
I know
Yeah.
that the skin looks really cool color wise. I'm not gonna race to get all of them, but I definitely will collect them because I like the overall color effect. So.
I'm curious to see what the underlying narrative for that is. All those like
Yeah,
little
and
hidden
that too.
gems.
Story. Exactly. I want to see who she's about and why and all that good stuff.
The real hidden meaning behind it. But yeah, speaking of narrative, ArenaNet's getting a new writer. This week on Twitter, Morgan Lockhart mentioned on her Twitter that very weird to be starting a job mid-pandemic, but I'm still super happy to be kicking things off with ArenaNet today. So I believe she's going to be the senior writer / narrative designer. So some of their recent work was lead writer on Tell Me Why, writing work for Battlefield 5, and a narrative designer for Halo 4, Spartan Ops Season 1.5, and Halo 5. So
Nice.
sounds like a lot of we're getting more technological rifles and future stuff.
I don't think
Right, that's how
it
writing
works.
goes. They just use the same thing over, right?
I think Tell Me Why is very, very different from Halo. But
Aliens.
I mean, humans are aliens. Teteria. Boom, it all comes together.
this is true.
So hopefully that means she'll fit right at home. So, wasn't Halo 5 universally hated? I'm trying to think which one was.
I don't remember.
Don't ask me. I never played Halo, so I'm not part of that crew.
I played it up till 3,
Oh,
unfortunately. I
Halo
never had
5 Guardians.
But honestly, I think the problem with Halo after a while started to become like what Battlefield is. It's no one plays for the story, or you play through it to get through it quickly, unfortunately. But I don't know. I've never had a problem with the story. But like I said, right now, for the life of me, I cannot remember the story of 5.
Yeah,
But
me
I do
neither.
remember 4. So yeah, I'm trying to think what happened afterwards.
George R.R. Martin.
Mixed reviews on
Oh
it.
boy. Well, it's not hard to do mixed reviews at the nowadays. Plague Cure for Cantha, future or past or now? Yes. Because we have the fractals. It's always happening. The one that was the most hated is the one which you don't play as Master Chief. Oh, that was either ODST or Reach.
Reach. I Reach.
Yeah, I'll say a lot
I
of
think,
people liked Reach. Maybe it was ODST then.
because Reach didn't have Chief. I think it was like Halo Reach was the prelude.
Yes. And then ODST was like you were basically soldiers in Halo 3. But anyway, but yeah, I remember 4 and it was pretty good, and she was an narrative designer for that as well. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings to the table. But yeah. So, any thoughts on Morgan Lockhart joining ArenaNet?
Well, we'll see what happens. Should be fun.
Yeah, I'm curious to see when will be her first bit of work, so we can as the internet judge intent. No,
It probably won't be until later on, because it seems like they kind of have their story already written out for like 6 months ahead or whatever. So maybe like later on for Cantha stuff, maybe, or Living World. Can't like when after main Cantha story and then Living Story starts for Cantha. Probably they still have that. I feel like that's when maybe she might be coming in.
Yeah.
Unless like they do any edits between them.
I would even say a little after Living, like a few episodes after Living Story for after expansion.
So, I mean, yeah, so I can't wait to see, and, maybe if, because this happened this past week, and this was all around, PAX is coming up, maybe this would have been a PAX panel thing that we could have been, asked her a question, but unfortunately, we can't do that. We're all locked in. So if you're missing that, convention experience, there is a PAX panel coming up, which, has a couple of ArenaNet employees in it. Here's the information here, but the panel is called "Build Your Guild: Make and Support Friends in Gaming." Do note it is a pre-recorded PAX panel, but it is happening on twitch.tv/PAX PAX2, and that will be happening 5 p.m. Pacific time or 8 p.m. Eastern time today. Which, if you're watching this live on Saturday. Questions on YouTube, hopefully the thing will be put up somewhere, but as far as we know, it's just then. It's going to include from ArenaNet at least, Ruby Bayer and Nick Hernandez. So, and it seems like it's surrounding how this month is basically the suicide prevention month. They're talking about the Seize the Awkward and just basically having friends on the internet, because for a lot of people that is still a new, weird, strange thing that I think now everybody's doing, having friends on the internet. So see, us gamers, we were once again ahead of the game.
Yep.
But so, if you're interested in it, they do say in the little blurb, they say, have you ever made a new friend while playing a game and wondered why some games are more supportive and uplifting communities than others? We believe that friends have an important role to play in helping one another through difficult times, and that games with cultures of support create those strong friendships. And then, in honor of National Suicide Prevention Month, Guild Wars 2 and Seize the Awkward joined forces to empower players to check in with each other about their mental health while showcasing the many ways they can do so. And I guess that expresses that, but kind of goes into what we were talking about earlier with chat is just like, it's more fun to play with a community or friends. Or I know I played WoW a lot longer because I had like real friends that I grew up with in high school that were playing it. Like I stuck with that game way more than I have ever would have wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely check it out. Like I said, it will be happening tonight, which at this current time it's 3 hours away. So we super dated it if you're watching the VOD. We didn't just tell you what day we're filming, we're telling you down to the minute. Yeah, chat, I agree. And that kind of was me for the last probably couple expansions of WoW that I played. I played WoW because my friends played WoW. But yeah, any thoughts on the panel?
Nah, it's just a overall good, like, sounds like a good talk and support system to kind of watch overall. So it's a good cause too, just because of the month alone as well for people.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's not. It's just interesting as a topic. Just building not necessarily just guilds, but like communities of people that you hang out with online, as not only as like people you play with, but people like you talk to and share your life with, I guess.
Yeah. I'm definitely curious because, like I said, they are having not only like people from ArenaNet, like people that are in the game industry, but looks like they have an actual doctor. I'm curious if they're gonna talk about maybe because that's one thing I've learned in the past of like when I was studying psychology, the idea of like getting over, this is gonna sound horrible, but getting over that idea of not wanting to charge people for your service, of a being a therapist, of listening to people because you kind of naturally want to do it, but it's like you feel guilty about taking money for it or something like that. It's like you're trying to help the person, but a lot of that time it's like there's a lot of reasoning behind that, and some of the stuff is like sometimes it's weirdly easier to talk to a stranger or someone that isn't like a family member. Like you have that
because they're
distance.
not going to judge you.
Exactly. And I think
it
that
took
might
me
be
a while to go talk to somebody and just to talk to my friends alone, just because I didn't want to be judged. I didn't want any disappointment or to be like, oh, it's all okay. Like I wanted someone to sit there and listen and then tell me like, hey, this is what you can do to either make it better, to stop it, or proper tools, and not sit there and just judge me or anything like that. So
yeah, and I know that's the mentality of like the basically requiring payment for the service, is it makes it seem more official and stuff, and it weirdly allows people to trust in that idea of like, no, I basically paid you to keep this confidential type thing, even though they would anyway, but it is that mentality on the other side. But I'm curious to see if they kind of look at it that way of like, well, me and Age, we technically we've never met in person, mainly because I don't leave my stoop. It's mostly on me, I will fully admit that, because he's gone to the conventions with Jim and them, and they live close, so I easily could have made the trip, maybe one day, but if things open back up, but it is one of those
even
things.
I met Age. You gotta leave your stoop sometime.
I can't now.
I know, now we can't. Now you gotta
this
wait.
is Stoop's world. But yeah, no, but I think that is one of those things of like, there is that distance barrier that maybe makes it slightly easier in certain situations for people to open up to other people. So like I said, I think this is going to be really cool. I'm going to try to make sure to catch it and just, hear the thoughts that get thrown around, but don't go outside. All the bad things are outside. Thank you. I've been saying that for years, way before 2020. But, no, but seriously, definitely if you have a chance, check it out. Maybe even if you're slightly interested in psychology, check it out. I'm definitely curious, but maybe if you're even looking for support, maybe deep down you have those thoughts or feelings, I'm sure they're going to have links to, put out there so you can go seek the help that, you deserve. But, yeah, so definitely check that out. And like I said, hopefully they'll have a VOD of it or something and put it up somewhere. But, yeah, last up we got, as always, Community Corner. And first up in Community Corner, Virtually Interrupted put out an article, who should be the next Connor? So we're not going to go into like their exact reasoning, because I would want to encourage people to go check this out, but I would love to hear people's thoughts, and I'll throw a link in the description in case you want to check it out, or if you're watching this on the VOD, links will be in the description. But yeah, with let's just say the position opening up, or the potential for it, there's, they can basically elect a new Connor, which is easiest way to put it is leader of the Char, or at least the Char part of these Black Citadel, since I don't know if technically did the Omicron join them. I know that
I don't think so.
I'll say I know we kind of allied with them, but I don't think story wise they were like, yeah, we'll pop in. But yeah, I'm kind of curious to hear like your guys and even chats of like, who would you want to see be the Connor?
Croatia.
Queen Jenna.
Wow.
We elect a Char, and then she's like, bing. She appears and she's like, haha.
That would not go well.
Yeah, we'd start the whole human Char war again.
Yeah. I would say Croatia, hands down. I think she's been holding it down for pretty well, from what I've seen from my Sprue Saga. So yeah, easy pick for me.
Kind of the same idea, Krisha. So, just because in general, like, she seems pretty much gone through it all, so.
In chat saying they could just call themselves clans or tribes, and the Omicron could return as a sand tribe. And that could be the possibility, but I mean that kind of takes us back to like how Guild Wars
Rox
1
can
was.
be lead.
Yeah, if that would happen.
Rox hasn't got enough limelight. Let her be lead.
Oh dear God.
She's enjoying her life being a druid, basically, over there. That's what I feel like they are.
But yeah, it'd be kind of interesting if they went that route, just because, like I said, that was kind of the problem that they had in Guild Wars 1, where they were like, no, we need to unify. Like, look what happened to us. We basically they were separated, and were easily be able to be being taken out by
maybe
the humans.
They won't have any lead because of what happened just now. Maybe they'll just.
You mean everybody's gonna go? Not it. No. You do it. You do it. No, you do it.
I mean, we saw what happened to someone. They got sniped when they try to take over.
Yeah. And at this point, if you haven't played the new story, I mean, it's been a month at this point, maybe 2 month and a half.
Yeah.
Thackeray, you guys are evil. You just want to start a war.
I don't know. Thackeray's he's too much cool with Ritlock that he respects the Char, like,
what if that was a ploy?
He was like,
He just takes the other sword.
You know what? Casimir can lead because look, she was training the little cubs how to fight, so she's already got some of the rings down. So Casimir can lead.
Oh, yeah, Chad brings up a good point that we didn't even mention with the trailer was voice acting is returning with the, starting back with the Fractal.
Yes,
Fully
like
overlooked that. So.
Yelling char.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know any other names you want to throw out there. I don't know. I'm all Norn culture. You Char, do what you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm all about the Norn and human people. Char can do whatever. They can be leaderless, have a bunch of leaders.
Wow.
No
one cares about the Char. Feels bad, man.
Well, yeah.
I don't care
Haven't
about
you seen
salad
their cultural
people.
armor?
I don't care about anybody but the Norn and humans. That's my life.
I know.
Really?
Norn's where it's at. I'm just saying.
I blame Jorah. She made me love the Norn.
I blame. I think it was Olaf. Olafstead.
Oh yeah, he was pretty good.
Well, I think I've said this a million times, but literally in Guild Wars 1 Eye of the North, when all the armies of the different races unite and they show up with 6 people. And
yeah.
And
I love that scene.
yeah, and what's his name? Who wow. He's in Guild Wars 2. Why am I blank on his name?
Ogden,
that's it. I wanted to say Dunkor. I was like, that's the other hero monk you get. Ogden's just like, there's 6 of you, and he's like, it would have been 5, but someone's like daughter wanted to come. I'm like, this is awesome. They're awesome.
and
Anyway.
like all in that cave, and they're all fending off like.
Yeah, they all just like turn into like bear
players.
form and stuff, and just like batting things down. They're like, this is fun. It's like, we never really got that back with Guild Wars 2 Norns, but I guess it couldn't be a thing because that would have been super overpowered. But
Right.
they don't even seem that as boastful, which is the unfortunate thing. Except I guess maybe the like early on when you get like the Sons of Svanir, but it's like, no, you're boastful, but you're kind of dicks. Exactly. See that I'm surprised I forgot the name. Like I said, it escaped me. Norsu's Norn likely deflated after losing spirits. What you're trying to tell me is maybe if the story goes well, we'll be our boastful selves again. Come on, now I'm super invested. But anyway, we are very much going away from the article itself, so definitely go check it out. Maybe voice your thoughts and hear some of theirs, because I see a couple of their potential candidates, and I don't know if I agree with all of them, but I think that's how candidates go, right? Wow, that's strangely getting close to political. So final thoughts on that before we go that route.
Good luck and let the best Char win.
Queen Jenna. But also we had a video from Kroof, which is Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons, 5 things to do before. And once again, I don't want to like give their 5 things just because I want you to go watch the thing. But I think, worst case scenario, because the best thing to do for this, I would imagine, one of the first things I thought of was like, even if you're not playing, or hey, if you're gonna coax some friends to maybe try Guild Wars 2 when it comes out on Steam later this year, before Guild Wars or before the expansion, this might be the perfect video to show and be like, hey, this is a good way to maybe something to work towards, because I know that's sometimes a lot of issues when people join a new game. It's like, I don't have any direction. But
Yeah.
I don't know. What are some things you guys have on your bucket list to get done before the expansion, personally?
Well,
How many more legendaries do you need to get? Because you didn't get one today.
I need to know what the next elite spec is, if there is any, and know what the
Oh
weapon
my
is,
god, I
and
want
then
to see
make it.
elite specs so bad. I really hope there's new ones.
Like Chad said, all
But
the things. See, that's why that video might help. Like, I need to do everything. Well, let's focus on these ones first. Ooh, nevermore.
yeah, I'm just working on Vision right now, and pretty close to finishing the achievements. I just need to get the mats afterwards, and that's it. Other than that, there is the raid ring, I think it was, but I have to just join pugs, I guess, and I just don't feel like doing that. So actually, I just don't feel like raiding in general. So unfortunately, but it's I would need to do enough to get like 150-ish tokens that I could transform into the other ones, because I think I still have that transfer amounts to do, and then buy certain thing, and yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I could potentially work on that if I feel like it. Other than that, it's just like vision and maybe the weapon that would be for the elite spec, but otherwise I'd be pretty set to go for the next expansion.
Awesome.
Yeah, being like a Canthan themed outfit, I guess.
Ooh.
That's about it. If that's possible in this game, like,
I'll say you touched like all the bases that we talked about, like this whole episode of like, you know, you can't find a group for raids, and now you're talking about end game for you is going to be, you want new attire for walking into Cantha. It's like fashion wars.
Yeah. Well, technically, the assassin's outfit, the human outfit, is kind of similar to like assassin outfit in Guild War, the original Guild Wars. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
kind of good.
What about you, Kit?
I'm just kind of on the same page as Age on this whole stuff.
I'm liking some of the stuff chat has, like basically
Yeah, I'm
using
reading
the
like
achievement filters and stuff to pick off some of the stragglers. Going after legendary sounds like what Age was doing.
my thing is I got started with a bunch of legendaries, and then I get to like the fourth part, like close to the end, and I'm just like,
You know, and that's the problem with me is like I look at the I look at the legendaries, and a lot of them, once again, kind of going with like gem store stuff. It's like that doesn't go with my look. Like I kind of like the dulled like the chromed looking version of them, like that's like the precursor version. But also I like how they added, like some of them have those like knickknacks. Like I'd rather go for the knickknacks, like what is it, the Gen 1 hammer, how it gives you the item that can turn your character metallic anyway. And I'm like, I'd rather just have that, like, than the legendary, hammer itself. And
But yeah, but I do it to flip stats whenever I need to.
Yeah,
so.
That is the nice thing about them, yeah. Or like Chuka and Champawa, like, yeah, I want a little cat on my back, like. So I'd rather, like, for me, I like want to go after like the different little knickknacks. And yeah, like Chad's saying, kind of like what Age was saying, that's probably one reason why I would probably complete them, is for the weapon swapping and stuff like that. That does make it pretty handy. But yeah, so definitely check that out. Maybe compare your list. Maybe you'll get some couple ideas from Groove. Also, we talked about them last week. Gamers Giving Back was doing Heroes for the Kids, and it was basically to raise money for a charity for awareness for children's cancer. And they raised a total of $2,570.66. So, good job to all the streamers. Good job to everybody that donated. Even good job to, the people that maybe didn't have, like I said last week, didn't have the money, but maybe tweeted out and someone else maybe found it. Everybody, I think, did a tremendous job.
Nice.
But also kind of staying in the vein of gamers giving back. They're also started talking about their Pink Day in LA and also their Quag and Waddle.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to, I believe on the 19th, have a volunteer meeting. And we'll link just in case the forum post, but all links will be in the description and stuff like that if you want to participate. But they're planning on the Quag and Waddle for September 26th at 4 p.m. CEST, which is EU, and 4 p.m. CDT NA. So they said, come and join us along with many others as they march through Tyria and spread the word about Pink Day and the fight against cancer. They'll be starting in Radissum, making their way through Metrica Province and then through Caledon Forest. They'll then depart and make their way to Lion's Arch through Timberline Falls, and then finally arrive at Fort Trinity. The event will be live streamed, of course. But I don't know if it was here or not, but I know they were, maybe it was for Pink Day in LA, but I did see them also tweeting about that they were looking to see if they could try to celebrate outside of Guild Wars 2 as well, because I guess it seemed like they had a lot of success with the Heroes for Kids thing, because it just wasn't strictly Guild Wars 2 content. So I look forward to seeing where it can branch out. But speaking of the Pink Day in LA, we have the website thing, which once again I'll throw it in chat, and if you want to check it out, definitely links are in the description. But that Pink Day in LA will be October 17th at 12 p.m. CDT for NA and EU. Open invite for streamers to help with the event. It takes place in Lion's Arch, and they do have their Gwen Radio, GW-EN radio, and donation link on the website. They'll be playing a variety of games, having just many events, made by all the volunteers and stuff like that. So, but just so you know, they have connections to the Canadian Cancer Society, where 100% of the donations go to help further and advance cancer research. They chose the Canadian Cancer Society because of how transparent they are, along with the fact that their work is not restricted by national boundaries. So definitely,
It's definitely a good cause
Yeah.
overall, and it's a pretty fun event. Even if you don't end up volunteering, you definitely should at least go into the game and check it out when it happens live, because they have game events and fun contests, and it's another way to make friends and talk to people.
Exactly. I was gonna say, yeah, it's just a kind of laid back thing if that's what you want it to be, and
Whole
like Kit's
community
saying,
thing we spoke of earlier.
exactly. So definitely check it out. And I know in past times, like I said, when you show up to there, if you look in like the LFG tool, usually they'll have like people helping bus people into like the specific maps for Lion's Arch. So that's usually how it works. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's usually a fun time. And like I said, Pink Day in LA has been going on since Guild Wars 1. So but yeah, definitely check it out. Any thoughts on Gamers Giving Back and any of their upcoming events?
Not mine. I definitely know it's a fun thing to join and do either way, as a volunteer or as just a player that plays within the community of them.
So, all right, that is it for this week. So, Age, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at Age Night Road. Made the Clock Hunter today, which ironically we were talking about today. So I also,
That's not the same one, Age. Before I'm just heading off comment section.
I know. But yeah. So I've just been streaming a bunch of different games recently. I got into Apex Legends just because I'm trying to get into military type shooters, but that aren't well. I'm trying to get into shooters that aren't Overwatch, so more of a military style like Battlefield and Call of Duty, but without going into those games. So Apex kind of hits that sweet spot for me. So yeah, if you want to see me die a lot, there you go.
Sorry, I just love that. I wanted to go into Battlefield without going into Battlefield, so
yeah, there you go.
I feel like that's
the military shooter games,
yeah.
because I'll just get bodied so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get better before I actually go into those games. But I feel like it's just mostly people are just bad at positioning and stuff. But anyway, and playing a lot of BDO. As you guys may know, I've been there's Awakening Succession for the newest class next week, so I'll probably do
that was fast. Awesome.
Yeah, well, it's already out in Korea. It's just that they usually wait a week or two before they put it out in NA. Other than that, there's the new Guild Wars 2 Fractal. I might hop in. Never know. Yeah, a bunch of things here and there.
Awesome. And our esteemed guest host, Kit, where can they find you?
You can find me at kitthetraveler.com or on Twitter, Kit the Traveler, or on Twitch, Kit the Traveler. I basically do in-game community events under Nicholas the Traveler's spirit and community camaraderie type stuff. I make little events and you turn in the item I need as a reward. I send back, and then when I'm not doing that, I try to stream. And when I stream, I right now currently just a little bit of variety for right now until Cantha comes out, and then maybe I'll start streaming Guild Wars 2 more often. But for now, I'm in a area where I don't want to board everyone with farming for things for legendaries, so I don't stream that part. But other than that, right now we are currently moving, so right now I'm just kind of like in a odd space to be doing anything currently for this month. But overall, that's where you can find me. You want to talk, you want to shoot it up about things and debate me, whatever, bring it.
All right. Well, go bring it,
like
apparently.
Age doesn't believe Abaddon, that might be Abaddon, so I just say Age.
I'll have to give him credit. The one time I wasn't here, what was it, 2 weeks ago or something? He was holding down, he was throwing in the Abaddon stuff. He was holding down for me. I appreciated it.
Yeah,
he's been converted. He doesn't know it yet, but he is converted.
Dear Lord, save me.
Dear Abaddon.
No, you heard what I said.
I'll give you my Warframe look for Hydroid, so you can make an Abaddon in a Warframe for you. There
Someone
you go.
help me.
Be one There's with no the mine hive.
Oh dear Lord.
Awesome. And you can find me at simply_Deo on Twitch and Twitter, and I tend to stream on there Mondays and Thursdays. Usually Warframe, but yeah, I picked up the Crew 2 and did enjoy that some. So we might try to throw that in some more, because it's just fun just driving around being an idiot, especially when I'm driving. But yeah, I'll have to highlight that on Twitch, because it was a pretty good time, because I had a longtime friend join me. So, but once again, it goes back to that, like we were talking about it. You can play any game when you have a good friend, and you can either suffer through it or just enjoy it together, type thing.
I don't always root for the bad guys, mind you. I root for some good guys like Jorah and a few others, and then people in the main game like Logan Thackeray and them. But Abaddon and Joko and Scarlet and a few others had very, very interesting stories on why they became bad or how they are.
I was gonna say,
that's why I like them.
And why are you just assuming Abaddon was bad? Because the other gods, the ones that were actively trying to kill you in this game.
Right now? If so, let's go. Who are your favorite bad guys?
Look, Kit's not helping me. She's roping me in. So I'll have to wrap this up. We'll have to maybe continue that for after show. But yeah. And speaking of which, if we are ending, but if you did just hop in, do stick around. We'll do a bit of an after show. If you just want to watch this in full, we do highlight on Twitch, twitch.tv/madrealms, 2 A's in the mad. If you do want to make it out live, we go live on that Twitch channel Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And if YouTube's your preferred platform for videos, youtube.com/madrealms. And if you want to listen to the podcast, the audio version of the podcast is up on our website, usually right after it goes live on YouTube, or somewhere around there. And that's madrealms.com. So yeah, I think that is it for this week. So we'll see everybody next time and in the game. Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.